Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Happy Hanukkah. We are so glad to see all of you here. It is such a fun night for us to partner with JCC of Central Jersey tonight as our special host. I'll turn it over to them in a moment, but I just wanted to say on behalf of the JCC of Northern New Jersey, it's wonderful to see our familiar friends as well as some new ones. This is such a wonderful opportunity to collaborate and share our Hanukkah holiday more broadly with our community. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And now I'll turn it over. My name is Erica. I should have introduced myself. And I'll turn it over now to my colleague, Barbara Weisbert from the JCC of Central Jersey. Thank you, Barbara, for hosting tonight.
My pleasure. Gina, where are you, Gina Goldman?
She's there.
Just wave your hand. Gina is the Adult Enrichment Director. Gina is the Adult Enrichment Director for JCC Metro West. Allison is the Assistant Director at the JCC of Central New Jersey. Tracy is somewhere. Do we have any other staff, Erica, that we know of?
Yes, we have Ruth Beckman on the line.
Anyway, is there any other staff?
Ruth is
wonderful.
Her coattail
Okay.
background.
One of the really wonderful, there aren't too many wonderful things about the coronavirus and all this pandemic, but one of the wonderful things is the fact that we have been together as a extended community, sharing programs and sharing happy times together and sharing all kinds of interesting things. And that is exciting. It's very exciting to have people from Northern New Jersey, Metro West, Central New Jersey, Florida, wherever else people are from, joining us to celebrate Hanukkah tonight. So thank you, Erica, for organizing this. Thank you for all of you who are participating. We are really so happy that you are here with us and that we can have this wonderful Hanukkah celebration. And I'd like to introduce you to our entertainer tonight. Certainly those of you from Metro West and those of you from Central New Jersey, many of you have met Mark before. Mark Levy is a wonderful, wonderful folk singer from California. He used to live in New Jersey. Instead of having to travel all over the place, as he said, he now can sit and do Zoom, which is kind of funny. Mark has performed and taught in the San Francisco Bay Area for 40 years at temples and synagogues and JCCs. He's appeared throughout the country in Europe and Israel. He's a singer, a lecturer, and he specializes in older Judaic folk music in Yiddish, Hebrew, Latino, and klezmer music and theory, and Jewish music history in general. We're looking forward to a really fun night. We're going to start with a candle lighting, then we're going to have the concert, and then there'll be an opportunity to have some questions and answers. Mark, I'll turn it over to you.
Just want to say hi,
thanks,
too.
Barbara.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Gina. I can't, there's a number of different screens, so I hi to everybody, whether I can see you or not. Obviously, none of us are there in person, but as I was mentioning as we came on, this is a little easier than me flying. I moved to Oregon, by the way, and I used to fly in every year from California, and so not only can everyone join us without having to go anywhere, but I didn't have to drive anywhere either. So that's somewhat of an advantage. I don't know if it balances the whole thing out, but it's great to see everyone. I'm originally from New Jersey. I don't know if that got mentioned. I was born in Trenton. 3,000 miles away, but we're going to start lighting candles. I'm a little bit behind you. I'm at 3:37 right now, but you can light candles early, and for you, it's probably right on time. So if you have all of your Chanukiot ready, I'm going to light mine. Now, normally I don't play guitar and light candles at the same time. And because I'm in my office, I'm using an electric menorah. So we'll turn that on, and if everyone's ready, you can start lighting yours. You should be able to see. Okay, so I I think everyone's muted, but you can sing along at home if you like, if you know the brachot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim ha'em ba'azman hazeh. As we light these candles, we reach out over thousands of years and link ourselves with the Maccabees, the Jewish heroes who fought for their national and religious freedom. At the same time, we link ourselves with fellow Jews from generations past who observe Hanukkah by lighting the menorah as we do today. By practicing this tradition, we reaffirm our commitment to strive for freedom for all and to preserve our rich Jewish heritage for the generations to come. Chanukah means rededication, and it refers to the temple, the symbol of our Jewish heritage, the second temple that was dishonored by Antiochus IV in 168 BCE and then restored by the Maccabees. I think everyone knows the story. I have songs from different parts of the world. The next one's from Eastern Europe, and it's a song my grandmother used to sing every year at this time. She sang it in Yiddish. I had to actually learn the English words later for my Sunday schoolers. So if you know it, I'm going to do it in English first, and then I'll do it in Yiddish. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Civvy bone to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Now here it is in the original. Oy Chanukah, yonta fasheiner, a lustiker, a freilicher, niton, noch a zeiner. Alle Nachten dreidlach spielen mir. Sie dich heißen Latkes, es donnerschier. Geschwinder sind Kinder, die dienige Lichter lachen. Sogt al-Hanissim, läuft Gott vor den Nissim und kommt, gicher tanzen und komm. Sogt al-Hanissim, läuft Gott vor den Nissim und kommt, gicher tanzen und komm. Well, you know, there is one verse that my grandmother left out, and I like to include it. I hope you agree that it's important enough. And it goes like this. Each Hanukkah we glorify brave Judah Maccabeus, who had the courage to defy Antiochus and free us. But it is not fair that we should neglect Mrs. Maccabeus, who we owe a debt. She mixed it, she fixed it, she poured it into a bowl. You may not guess that it was the latkes that gave brave Judas his soul. You may not guess, but it was the latkes that gave brave Judas his soul. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round table will give you a treat. Civvy vote to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night, they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Now, of course, people are always asking me, how is it that I know Yiddish? Well, I told you that my grandmother used to sing in Yiddish, but they also, you see, I was raised in my grandparents' home, my mother's parents' home in Trenton, and they spoke English when they didn't want me to understand. It's even funnier if you'd heard their English. So that's my mother's family. My father's family, though, they came not from Eastern Europe. You know, my mother's family came from the Russian-Polish border, as a lot of people probably have. Their ancestors came, the first immigrants to this country around the turn of the century, 19th and 20th century. And you know, they set up shop in New York, and then they came to New Jersey, like a lot of folks, I'm sure, that are with us here. But my father's family came originally not from Eastern Europe, but from Spain. So I have to do a little costume change here. And so for those of you who are wondering, yes, that does make me Ashkefardic. See, Ashkenaz is Eastern Europe, Sephardic is the Spanish Jews. And in my family, the story I got was they were thrown out of England in 1288, then they went to Spain, and then they were kicked out of Spain in 1492, and then they went to Portugal, and they were kicked out of Portugal in 1497. Just my family, all the other Jews were allowed to stay. No, it was everybody. So then they went, they basically went England, Spain, Portugal, Amsterdam, London, New York. And that was on Tuesday. Yeah, that's why we have one word in Hebrew that means both hello and goodbye, right? Shalom. Because we don't necessarily want everybody to know whether we're coming or going. And we don't know either. So here's a song called Ocho Candelicas, written by Flori Jagoda. I believe that one of her daughters lives in New Jersey and is a member of a Reconstructionist synagogue there because, well, if she's still there, I'm not sure. But I was singing this song, and she ran up from the back of the room and said, "That's my mom's song," and sang it with me. So if you know it, we count to 8 in Spanish. It's in Ladino, basically. If anyone is Sephardic that knows the Ladino, I'll sing it in Ladino, but you can count to 8 in Spanish. It says, "Wonderful, Hanukkah is here, 8 candles just for me. We're going to have lots of parties, and we're going to eat lots of what?" Wrong. I couldn't hear you, but I could see that you all said latkes. I know it's a trick question. Trick question, because Sephardim don't eat latkes traditionally. Sephardim eat pastelikos, which are little pastries, in this case made of honey and almonds. So I always trick everyone with that one. It's okay, it won't be on the final. But you can sing along. Count to 8 here. Una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Now, this song was written by Flori Jagoda. I mentioned that. I think she's around 95 now, and I believe she's in Florida. I met her in 1982, and I corresponded with her. And a lot of people don't know that she wrote this song. They think it goes back to Spain, but nope, it's only 50 years. Here we go. Chanukah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Chanukah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer, con alegrías y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Pastelicos voy a comer, con almendricas y la miel. Pastelicas voy a comer, con almendricas y la miel. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Ocho candelas para mí. Ocho candelas para mí. Well, here's a Hebrew song. You know, my mom, excuse me, taught Hebrew school and taught Sunday school rather when I was a kid in Trenton, and I learned a lot of the songs, a lot of the Hebrew and English songs there, and then, of course, my grandmother sang the Yiddish songs. Excuse me, just a second. Having a few allergy problems out here in Oregon. We'll grab something to drink here. But this is a song that is an Israeli children's song, but pretty widely known here. You might know it. Chanukah kol kach. So, Chanukah, Chanukah, Chag yafe kol kach, Or chaviv misaviv, Gilei yeled rach. Chanukah, Chanukah, Zevivon sof sof, sof sof sof, sof sof sof, Hanayim batov. Chanukah, Chanukah, happy holiday. Candles burn, dreidels turn, children sing and play. Chanukah, Chanukah, dreidel spin and spin. Spin, 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 Gimel, there I win. Chanukah, Chanukah, Chag yafe kol kach, Or chaviv misaviv, Gilei yeled rach. Chanukah, Chanukah, Zevivon sof sof, sof sof sof, sof sof sof, Hanayim batov. Now, of course, we have lots of dreidel songs. I'm going to hold this up, and I'm sure people are familiar with what this is. And the letters on it, Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, which of course stands for Nes Gadol Haya Sham. A great miracle happened there. Now in Israel, they say a great miracle happened here. Nes Gadol Haya Po. But I've never seen a dreidel with a pay on it. Have you? For Po. For here. Maybe they do make them. If anybody knows, you can tell me in the chat room if you've seen a dreidel with a pay on it instead of a a shin for sham for there. Well, you know, people are going to recognize this melody from this time of year. You know, there's a song called The 12 Days of Christmas. But I have the original, and it went like this. On the first night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the second night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 2 matzah balls and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the third night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the fourth night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 4 pounds of corned beef, 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese on a separate plate from the corned beef. On the fifth night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 5 kosher dills, 4 pounds of corned beef, 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the fifth night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me, I think I did that one. On the sixth night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 6 yentas cooking, 5 kosher dills, 4 pounds of corned beef, 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the seventh night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 7 rabbis dancing, 6 yentas cooking, 5 kosher dills, 4 pounds of corned beef, 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. On the 8th night of Hanukkah, my bubby sent to me 8 klezmers fiddling, 7 rabbis dancing, 6 yentas cooking, 5 kosher dills, 4 pounds of corned beef, 3 golden latkes, 2 matzah balls, and a warm bagel topped with cream cheese. Oy vey. So now you know the rest of the story. Here's a song that my grandmother used to sing. Again, this one's in English. She sang this one in English. I don't think that this song made it to Yiddish, even though Menashe Ravenna, who wrote this song back in the 1930s, he came from Poland, and he came over and he joined Workman's Circle Arbeiterring, if any people are familiar with that group. That's still around in the New York area, and there's one in San Francisco out here on the West Coast, and I don't think there's one in Portland, which would be closer to me. But it started in 1900 to bring in Jewish workers into unions, and now it's mostly a cultural organization to keep Yiddish alive. So Ravenna wrote this one in Hebrew. A lot of the writers that came to Israel from Eastern Europe switched over to Hebrew, which of course became the national language. I'll sing it in English the way my grandmother used to sing. Every year she would sing it. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to our aid. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to our aid. At this time of year in days of yore, Maccabees a temple did restore, and today our people as we dream will arise, unite, and be redeemed. Mi yimalel gurot Yisrael otan mi imne, hein b'chodor yakum hagibor goel am. Mi Hakavi Moshia Ufodeh, Ubyamenu Kol Am Yisrael, Yitachid Yakum Lehigael. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to our aid. V'yimalel Gorot Israel Otani Yimne Ein B'chol Dor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Well, I hope you remember that. Now here's one you probably won't remember. I'm going to play it on the dunbek, which is a Middle Eastern drum. We'll just switch here. By the way, how's the sound coming through? Everybody hear the guitar and everything? Good. All right. Well, here's what the dunbek looks like. Let's see, I'm backwards in there so that you can read what's behind me. So this is a drum that's played throughout the Middle East and the Mediterranean and North Africa. I had one great-great-grandfather who was born in Fez, Morocco, actually, on the Sephardic side of my family. So these rhythms very common to all of the Middle Eastern countries. It's a dance rhythm. This song is about the Shabbat de Chanukah, the Shabbat of Hanukkah, and the young women are taking the bowls down from the shelves really early in the morning on Friday and saying, we got to make haste, we got to get this meal started so it'll be done before Shabbat starts. And so they're getting everybody awake, the women awake, to put together the feast, which is traditional in the Sephardic communities for Shabbat of Hanukkah. And then it says, put the meat on the grill, and the grill is a tandoor in this case. You've probably heard of a tandoori oven. Well, that part of the world, Turkey, this is a song from Turkey. Turkey, North Africa, Persia, Iran, have a tandoor. And then we'll listen to the music of the santur, which is the rhyme there. Santur is a hammer dulcimer. We have those in this country. In the southeast, they're played with hammers, and there's a trapezoid with strings going across. They're also played in klezmer in the Eastern European. And like I said, the Ozarks and the Appalachians have the hammer dulcimers as well. Very different sound in this country and all around the world, different modes, different styles of playing the instrument. But it's basically a hammer dulcimer. So we've got three languages in this song, Ladino, and then it says, Le'adlik ner shel Chanukah, to light the lights of Hanukkah. And it says, the two Turkish words, tandoor and santur. So we have Hebrew, Ladino, and Turkish in this song. And the ethnomusicologists have a name for a song that has multiple languages. It's macaronic. Macaronic. It sounds like macaroni, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a relationship. You don't have to know that to enjoy this song, so here we go. Takil tas tomo el tas, takil tas tomo el tas, las muchachas meten bas en Shabbat Chanukah, להדליק נר של חנוכה, להדליק נר של חנוכה, מת אל הקרני על תנדור, מת אל הקרני על תנדור, כלסהון בוין סנטור, אין שבת חנוכה, להדליק נר של חנוכה, להדליק נר של חנוכה, Takil tas tomel tas, takil tas tomel tas, las muchachas meten bas en Shabbat Chanukah, להדליק נר של חנוכה, של חנוכה, להדליק נר של חנוכה. Well, let's see. I have an ad that popped up here. I hope nobody else can see that. I'm not sharing my screen, so it shouldn't be a problem. That's one thing about the internet. You can almost guarantee that there's going to be ads popping up. But we're controlling that pretty well here tonight. I'm going to go back to my grandmother's side, my Ashkenazi side of the family, and so I'm changing my hat. I'm not going to do that every time because that would be old hat. Okay, there goes the drum. Now, this song was written by the same guy that wrote Chanukah that I started with. His name was Ribsman.
I want to talk to him.
And we're going to have some time for questions at the end.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, we're keeping everybody on mute, I think. So make sure you remember your questions, and we'll leave, 10 minutes or so for people that would like to that have any questions that they'd like to ask or whatever they want to share. So this is Zinton Lichtelach in Yiddish, and that means let's play, let's light the candles, the little candles. They should burn one after another. Yehuda should live forever. It says, of course, Judah Maccabee. And then we all should be celebrating at our ease and sing our songs for 8 nights. I think we're certainly, sounds like from what I'm hearing, that the Jewish Federation's got 8 nights covered here for everyone. So here's how this one went. It's got a part you can sing. I won't be able to hear you, but that's okay. Die, 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 Yehuda, ewig lebst du, ach, Tag zufrieden, singen wir jeden, ach, Tag ganze, klingt unser Schier. Jai, dai, 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 sind an der Lichter, Lichtine, Geschehne, die Sohlen brennen, eine noch eine, du Yehuda, ewig lebst du, ach, Tag zufrieden, singen wir jeden, ach, der ganze klingt unser Schier. Dai, 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 so maybe you haven't heard that song, but I know that you've heard this song. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body, with legs so short and thin, when it is all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Well, you know, my Sunday schoolers even got tired of hearing the same verses every year. So what did we do? Well, we had some help. We made up some verses. And of course, they loved making up the verses. Here are some of them. Had a little dreidel, I made it out of sand. When I tried to spin it, it crumbled in my hand. Dreidel, 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 I made it out of sand. When I tried to spin it, it crumbled in my hand. Have a little dreidel, I made it out of soap. I'll spin it in the bathtub, it will not melt, I hope. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of soap. I'll spin it in the bathtub, it will not melt, I hope. Well, I have a little dreidel, I made it out of straw. It went 80 miles an hour and it broke the speeding law. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of straw. It went 80 miles an hour and it broke the speeding law. Have a little dreidel, I made it out of schmaltz. When I tried to spin it, it did a little waltz. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of schmaltz. When I tried to spin it, it did a little waltz. Well, as you can imagine, the kids really enjoyed making up verses, and they would have gone until Passover. So we had to figure out how to end it. Here's what we came up with. I have a little dreidel, it's sitting on a shelf, and if you want more verses, you can make them up yourself. Oh, dreidel, 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 it's sitting on a shelf. If you want more verses, you can make them up yourself. Well, that's not the end, because now I'm going to sing it in the original. Ich bin a kleine dreidel, gemacht bin ich von Blei. Kommt mir alle spielen, in dreidel 1, 2, 3. Oi dreidel, 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 oi 30 dreidel, 3. Kommt mir alle spielen, in dreidel 1 und 2. Well, I bet some people didn't know it was originally written in Yiddish. It's written by Michael Gelbert, who came over from Lodz, Poland, joined up with Workman's Circle. We mentioned that already. And of course, once it got translated into English, well, we lost the Yiddish. That's why I like to sing it. Second verse says, I love to dance, watch me dance a dreidel karachod, which I believe is a Russian dance. Und ich hab lieb zum Tanzen, sich drehen in a Rad. Und lass mir alle tanzen, a dreidel karachod. Oi dreidel, 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 oi 30 dreidel, 3. Und lass mir alle spielen, in dreidel 1 und 2. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. When it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. So there you go. That one's probably the one most people will remember. And you can have fun making up your own verses so you don't get bored with it. Here's another dreidel song. And again, well, I would have the kids come up, Sunday schoolers, they'd come up to the bima, and or if we were in the classroom, they'd come up and they'd circle around and start spinning like dreidels. And I would sing this song, which means dreidel, spin, 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 nun gimel, hey shin, what a great holiday. So, see if you know this one. I start out slow so that the kids are spinning slowly, dancing. Sivivon, sof, 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 Chanukah, hu ha-tov, Chanukah, hu ha-tov, Sivivon, sof, 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 Chag simcha hu la'am, Nes gadol haya sham, Nes gadol haya sham, Chag simcha hu la'am. And now the kids, well, I get them to dance a little faster. I play it a little faster, so Sivivon, sof, 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 Chanukah, hu ha-tov, Chanukah, hu ha-tov, Sivivon, sof, 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 parents were watching in horror, I would do it even faster, and the kids would be spinning even faster, and I guess you know what would happen. They'd fall over. So, Sivivon, Suf, 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 Chanukah, Huchagdok, Chanukah, Huchagdok, Sivivon, Suf, 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 Chag Simcha Hu La'am, Es Gadol Haya Sham, Es Gadol Haya Sham, Chag Simcha Hu La'am. By that time, the kids had all fallen over dizzy from spinning around like dreidels, and the parents would be all angry with me. Maybe not. At least we made sure that we did that number before we ate the latkes. I won't even go into that any further. So we've got, boy, I've got quite a number of more songs. I'm gonna trim it down just a little bit here. This is a song that was written by Morris Rosenfeld, and Morris Rosenfeld was the poet of sweatshops of the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And I bet some of your grandparents, maybe some of your parents even worked in the sweatshops in the garment industry in Lower Manhattan, since you're all there. I know my grandmother and her sister worked in one of those sweatshops, and my grandmother's sister, Mamie Rosenberg, who had a store in Trenton, well, she told me this story about her first day on the job. It was probably about 1916, 1917, right after she came over, and she was working in the sewing room with this big overlock sewing machine, and she kept ruining the garments. You know, the stitching was going through the middle, and she was getting really upset. Luckily, her cousin, Saul, was the foreman, and he came over and consoled her and said, "Don't worry about it. You'll get the hang of it soon. It'll be all right." She told me that story like 80 years later as if it were yesterday. Very traumatic for her. Well, Rosenfeld wrote a couple songs about the sweatshops. One was Ich habe kleinem Jingele. I have a little son that I never even see because it's dark when I go to work, and then when I come back, it's dark again. He's already asleep. So that was in the days before the unions were strong, when people would work 12 hours and then come home and have to finish their quota. It was called piecework back at that time. And he also wrote a song called Mein Ruheplatz. Don't look for me where the sun's shining and the birds are singing or the fountains are spraying, because I can't be found there. I'm a slave to my sewing machine where tears run and teeth gnash. That is my quiet place. So you can see why he worked in a sweatshop himself, and he sometimes composed the melodies, and sometimes they were set to music later. This is one that was set to music later, this next one here, called O ihr kleine Lichterlach, Oh you little candles. And it says, you tell such stories from the past about our courage, and that we Jews were victorious at this time. And when I see you flickering, it brings to my mind an old dream that in these days there was such courage, and that we defeated our foe. He also says, you little candles, your stories also bring up a little pain in my heart, because I don't know what's going to happen to us now. And this song was written around the turn of the 19th, 20th century. So really didn't know. We were new in this country, many of our families, and we didn't really know what was going to work and what wasn't. But he has this wonderful song that I'll sing for you. O ihr kleiner Lichterlach, ihr erzählt Geschichtelach, meiselach onat so, meiselach onat so, ihr erzählt von Blutigkeit, Bergeschaft und Mutigkeit, Wunder von Amor, Wunder von Amor. Wenn ich seh euch schminkeldick, kommt a cholem finkeldick, redet en alte träum, redet en alte träum, du hast gekriegt amol, du hast gesicht amol, ach das gelebt sich heim, ach das gelebt sich heim. O ihr kleine Lichterlach, eure Geschichte lach, wecken auf mein Pein, wecken auf mein Pein. Tief in Herz bewegt es sich, und mit Tränen fragt es sich, wo's wird jetzt sein? Was wird jetzt sein? O ihr kleine Lichterlach, ihr erzählt Geschichtelach, meiselach onat Soul, meiselach onat Soul. Well, I have two more songs I'd like to do. Are we good on time? Whoever's monitoring that?
You're fine.
We're okay?
You're fine.
All right, good. Because I get requests for this next one a lot.
Everyone
And
is very
it's a
happy.
song by Peter Yarrow. Now, you might remember that name because he's 1/3 of the group Peter, Paul, and Mary. He was 1/3 of the group. Mary's gone now. But he and Paul Stuckey and Mary Travers were Peter, Paul, and Mary. And Peter wrote this song. He was a Jewish member of the group that became his mother's favorite song that he wrote, called Light One Candle. And the chorus goes like this. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the Maccabee children. Give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we shall not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Here comes the end. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. light go out. And our anthem to conclude here. Ma'os tzor Yeshuati l'chana el shabeya tikon beit tefilati b'sham toda nizabeya v'yetzahin matbeya mitzar hamnabeya azegmor b'shir mizmor Chanukah hamizbeya azegmor b'shir mizmor Chanukah hamizbeya. Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amid the raging foe were our sheltering tower. Furious assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Well, wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, and I left a little bit of time in case people wanted to share something, and come on in, and we'll entertain questions and comments now.
Oh, I have a comment. Thank you so much. That was so wonderful. You can't imagine how that made me feel.
My pleasure. And is that a real dog in back of you, or is that a screen?
It's a real dog, but it's a picture of her.
Oh, it's a picture of a real dog.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope she's agreeing with you.
I'd like to say something.
Sure, go ahead.
When we first came to Israel in 1950, it was Hanukkah time, and we saw the lights lit up all over that said Nes Gadol Haya Po. A great miracle happened here. And we couldn't believe it. We couldn't understand it. And certainly, after a minute's thinking, we realized that the miracle happened in the land of Israel. So it was Nes Gadol Haya Po, not Nes Gadol Haya Sham. We in America say the miracle happened there, but in Israel they say the miracle happened here.
Yeah.
So my question is, did you also see a dreidel with a pay on it for Poe?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, I did.
I have to get one of those dreidels.
Those were the dreidels that they sold in the stores on Hanukkah. It had a pay on it. It did not have a hay.
I'd like to interject here, Mark. I sent a link to Erica. I actually found two. I was looking on the internet while you were singing, and I found two that have the letters from Israel. And one was $150 something or $100 something, and I found another one that's only $25. So
Well, that's better.
Erica has the link. She could send
150. No wonder it has a pay on it.
No, I didn't pay that much.
I don't think I'm going to
Any
find
other
one of those.
questions?
Go ahead.
Questions or comments?
It looks like Barbara Freed has a question, very sweetly raising her hand. If only my own children were that polite.
I just wanted to say thank you. I was also a Hebrew school teacher as one of my positions, and I could not be with my family during Hanukkah because of the virus. So thank you so much for allowing me to have all these wonderful memories and to sing along with all the songs that I knew so well. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Yes, that was wonderful. The all the old songs and the new ones that I never heard. And when you did the round, who can retell? So I was doing the round part.
Oh, right. Yes. Now, that's
And
interesting.
you can sing that in Hebrew.
Yeah, you can do it as a round. In fact, if you try to do it on Zoom, you don't even have to try. It becomes a round because there's a delay when everybody tries to sing together. Anybody
Any
else?
other questions or comments?
Oh, hi, this is Ellen. I want to thank you for the nice program. I'm by myself, but I'm enjoying not only your music, but your humor, which may not be so easy to do when you don't have a live audience. So I certainly can appreciate that.
Yeah, well, we talk about that sometimes. Those of us who do a little comedy, that it's a lot. It is pretty difficult because you don't get a response, So what I do is I just make believe every joke worked great, and you're all laughing anyway.
You were right.
Yeah, people have asked me about that.
Anyone
How come you don't do comedy? Why don't you go to comedy stores or comedy clubs? And I say, well, yeah, that's great. I'll start at the bottom of something else. How about I just be a gladiator instead? Anyway, anybody else have?
I think Marilyn would like to speak.
Yeah.
Maybe she already heard.
I just want to thank you. I love all the songs. I live in New Jersey. My children are in Massachusetts. So I also want to thank JCC for the 8 nights of Hanukkah. It's meant a great deal to me. I also have a parakeet that you might see. She's been singing the whole time you were singing. She loves music, and she's always on Zoom with me. So I want to thank both of you, Mark and JCC, for this. It's wonderful for those of us who are all alone.
Does your parrot sing in Yiddish?
She's a parakeet.
Oh, a parakeet.
No,
too young then.
Not Yiddish, because I don't speak Yiddish, but she speaks English. She
All
has
right.
about 30 words and phrases that she says.
Okay, I hope they're all ones that you approve of.
I taught them to her.
All right, well, we won't get into that. Anybody else?
Okay, I think we'll take like 1 or 2 more questions. Anybody else? Okay, then I'd like to point out that this program has been sponsored by the Grata Fund for Senior Care. They're what gave us the funds to be able to do it. Erica and Gina and all the other staff, I'm so glad that we can all work together to bring together community at a time we feel that we need community more than ever. Mark, we've been watching you for years, and you only get better and better and better if that's possible. I think you did an amazing job of coming across on Zoom, which is not easy. And Erica, we look forward to sponsoring and sharing many more programs together. And thank you for being the lead in this. Really appreciate that. Thanks for inviting us to be part of it. Erica, you have anything you want to add?
It was a pleasure to see everybody and experience this holiday together. And thank you, Mark. It was fabulous. And they were all private messaging me on the chat to say how much they were enjoying your music and how much they were enjoying you and your voice and everything. Gina, you want to say something?
I just want to say thank you to everybody also. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Allison. And Barbara, you're right. If anything is a silver lining, it was the fact that we all got to work together and that we're all collaborating. And then I love seeing all of I see June Fisher and I see Barbara. June Fisher's your person that I know. And I see my people, and it just makes me, and Mark, we could be in Robbins Hall. That's what I was texting to Allison, and so it was wonderful that we were able to get this all together with Barbara's funding. It's just been a wonderful thing.
Well, I wanted to say,
it's really, candles lasted their whole, they just went out. As you stopped singing, they went out. So
okay.
It was a miracle.
And hopefully we'll have a much healthier world. So everyone, take care. Thanks, and have a wonderful Chag Sameach.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Happy